Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a throwaway account in the AITAH subreddit. The post is titled AITAH for blowing up at my sister because her husband's behavior is not my fault. I, 26F, live in a small town with a lot of family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, basically everyone related to me lives here. My sister Lilia, 28, married her husband, Sean, 31, last year. I don't know him very well, but I don't have a problem with him either. Every other weekend, my mom will host a party type thing for the whole family. There's food, decorations, music, etc. Everyone has a blast. A few months ago, my sister started acting kind of strange at these parties. Her husband isn't a very social person from what I can tell. He usually stands off to the side, sometimes without food. Lilia started making comments about how Sean thinks the decorations look tacky or Sean thinks the music is too loud. At first, it was basically harmless, but the comments got worse and worse. She started saying things like that outside of family parties too. The weekend before last, she made small talk for a while before saying, Sean doesn't look like he's having a good time. I don't think he likes the food very much. I can't really blame him. We don't usually eat at low-class restaurants like yours. Her comments always pissed me off, but this pushed me pretty hard. My mom works really hard to make delicious food for these parties. She's a chef at Olive Garden. I guess my mom could tell I was getting upset, so she pulled me aside and told me not to say anything to Lilia, that it wasn't a big deal, stuff like that. I respected her wishes, even though I really wanted to stand up for her. Last week, Lilia called and said Sean's best friend is getting married. I'm a wedding planner and she wants me to plan the wedding. I said sure. This weekend, Sean's best friend and his fiancée had a joint bachelor and bachelorette party. Lilia is a bridesmaid. She invited me to come along so I could meet the bride and groom and probably officially become their wedding planner. When I arrived at the club, Lilia immediately grabbed my wrist and pulled me to the bathroom. She said, Sean isn't happy. No one will take you seriously as a wedding planner if you dress like a slut. You embarrassed him and now will blame him for recommending a shitty planner. I had enough of her at that point. It felt like she was just using Sean as an excuse to voice her own opinions. I said, if Sean thinks I'm a shitty wedding planner for dressing normally for a damn club, he can get a new wedding planner. I walked out and went home. User Psychological Bar said, is Sean a telepath or a very talented ventriloquist who talks about himself in the third person through your sister? NTA, always stand up for yourself and your family. User Savina said, NTA, your sister sounds exhausting and rude. It also sounds like she has a ridiculous number of insecurities. Has anyone actually ever discussed any of the issues with Sean? Because it's entirely possible your sister is projecting those insecurities into criticism she thinks he might have. Be a rebel. Every time your sister says something rude that Sean thinks, walk up to Sean and politely ask if it's true. If your sister panics, then you know she's making it up. I wouldn't touch the wedding planning job with a 10-foot pole if your sister will be involved in any way. That's a truckload of drama you do not need in your life. User Alice said, I have an awful feeling Sean isn't the one who has these thoughts and feelings, but that your sister is finding a way to express her pure bitchiness by passing it off as Sean said. Has Sean ever heard her say any of these things? Is he able to stick up for himself to deny saying them or even to say, yeah, I do feel that way, etc.? Your sister is a jerk. Go low to no contact. No one needs that negativity in their lives. Your family may want to keep the peace, but you are under no obligation to do so. OP, please wear the sluttiest thing you can to the next family get-together, find the cheapest pizza shop and order all the food from there and get the tackiest looking decor you can find. Petty queen at heart here. A couple of days later, OP provided an update. I ended up inviting Sean and Lilia out to lunch. Lilia was still a little upset that I had dressed like a slut at the club, but mostly things went fine. Before we left, I asked Sean if he thought my outfit at the club was inappropriate. He said no. I asked if he thought my mother's cooking was bad. He said no again. This time, he looked more confused. Before I could ask him about another comment, Lilia grabbed his arm and pulled him up. She said they had to go. Sean looked even more confused and told Lilia he wanted to hear what I was going to ask next. She looked visibly angry, and after I asked him if he thought the decorations were tacky, Lilia said, if you're not coming, I'm leaving without you. She ran to the car before either of us could stop her. Sean was really confused now and asked why I thought he didn't like the food, etc. I told him the whole story of how Lilia was telling me and my immediate family he was saying rude things. He looked completely shocked now. He said he never said any of those things and that he thinks the parties are wonderful. He explained he's just a little antisocial and gets nervous around people he doesn't know well, which I totally get. He apologized if anything he did was offensive, but I said there was no need for an apology. I gave him a ride home. When we got there, my sister's car wasn't in the driveway. I went to my mom's house next to drop off some stuff I had for her in the car. When I got there, Lilia's car was parked outside. She was sitting at the dining table crying, and my mom was doing her best to comfort her. When my sister saw me, she started crying even harder. I sat down and waited until she could calm down. When she finally did, I gently asked why she was saying all those things. Lilia said, "I don't know, to make you hate him, I guess." My mom asked why she wanted us to hate him. She kept replying to our questions with "I don't know" before admitting the truth. She said she'd been feeling jealous since our brother Eric got married. She felt like he was getting all the attention, especially when his wife announced her pregnancy. She also said Eric was always the golden child growing up, and she wanted people to notice her just this once. I never thought he was the golden child. In fact, Lilia seemed to be favored over him, but maybe I was too wrapped up in my own stuff to notice. My sister decided to stir up some drama to get the attention back on her. She used Sean because no one in the family knew him very well, and it was easy because he doesn't interact with a lot of people. She claimed she wanted the attention so badly, even if it was negative. She wanted to see how far we'd let her go before one of us snapped. After a long talk, she promised never to do anything like this again and admitted she mostly did all this out of resentment toward Eric for always stealing the spotlight. My mom promised to pay more attention to her, and she apologized if she ever made Lilia feel like Eric was better than her. We all hugged it out. Earlier tonight, Lilia called me and said she and Sean were going to try couples therapy and she was going to get individual therapy for herself. I said I was happy for her and she can come to me if she ever needs anything. I guess that's it. I'll update again if anything else happens. After another day, OP gave us another update. Hi again. I wanted to give a mini update and answer some questions I've seen in the comments. I didn't end up planning Sean's best friend's wedding. I found out the wedding is in 2 weeks and they were scrambling to put everything together, confirm everything, even book some things last minute. So no, I didn't take that job. I am not trying to justify Lilia's actions in any way. I agree that she really needs therapy. I'm just trying to help people understand why I'm not going no contact with her. First, there's our mom. Even if I personally wanted to cut contact with her, our mom has cancer. She wants us to be together as a family for her, and I respect that. Also, I would love someone who's cut off a family member to comment and explain how it all went, especially someone who lives in the same town as a lot of family. My hunch is it's not easy. I probably should have put this in the original post, but I'm saying it now. My father died when I was 19 in a bad car crash. Lilia was really close to him. My sister has been my best friend since I was born. That's not something I want to throw away over one incident. Yes, it was wrong. Yes, I am angry at her. Yes, it will take a long time for me to trust her again, but I still love her. She's done so much for me. Punched someone who was bullying me in the face, worked double shifts to help with my tuition, never once left my side when I suspected my ex was stalking me, and that's just to name a few. I don't think she's a terrible person. I think she screwed up out of fear for our mom and the trauma of losing our dad. The jealousy part could also be true. She's always been a very jealous person. It will take time for me to forgive her, but I think we can work things out. Now on to the mini update. I spoke with mom today. She's also angry at Lilia, of course, but she wants to keep the peace at least until her time comes. She said conspiratorially, at the next party, Sean's going to pull a Lilia said on her, half joking, though it would be funny if it really happened. I spoke to Sean too. He's the angriest out of us, but he said he loves her and is going to try to work things out. They start couples therapy on Saturday and Lilia starts individual therapy tomorrow. I wished him the best. This next post was made in the same subreddit by a user named Tired of Editing. My partner has been on the pill throughout our relationship, and we've been in a bit of a battle these past few weeks over having children. I categorically said that I don't want them and started using condoms for double protection. This morning, she told me that she's pregnant, and I asked how this could happen when we'd been so careful. She admitted to coming off the pill and piercing through the condoms that we have stored. I've said that I don't want this and that I'm not up for marrying into a relationship based on lies. She says she's keeping it and has already told her friends as, according to her, she'd done the test 8 weeks ago and was keeping it quiet in the hopes that I'd change my mind. I have no idea what to do here. Help, I am in England and am 29. Update. Firstly, thanks so much for all your comments. I didn't expect this to blow up quite so much as it did. Secondly, I want to get a few things straight as people seem to be struggling with timelines. My partner and I were due to get married in a few short weeks. We have had many long and involved conversations during our relationship about us both wanting to remain a child-free family over the years that we have been together. Around 2 to 3 months ago, they started to appear to change their mind, which I feel insecure and unhappy about as it is not something that I want from life, which is why I'd booked a vasectomy through NHS. I cannot afford to go private as money is very tight. Again, another reason I do not want children. She admitted to tampering with condoms and said that she'd come off the pill several weeks ago. At that point, prior to her saying that kids might be an option for her, we were still having sex, and I was under the impression that we were protected as she was on the pill. I have made no secret about how I do not want kids, and she is fully aware of my reasons behind that, which I do not have to share with strangers on the internet. She has shown me a test and it confirms that she is pregnant. I have asked that she get an abortion, she has refused, and I feel the trust has gone completely from our relationship. We are now in the process of canceling the engagement, which she isn't happy with at all, and she has said that I'm ruining her life. Now, for those people telling me to go to therapy, man up, or that I'm lying. It's great that you disagree with me, but I'd never tell you to attend therapy if your worldview differed from mine, that I should be at fault after my partner has lied to me, and that I'm a liar. Here are a few other things for you. No, I do not like kids and I don't like entitled parents. I see it the same as disliking dogs, cats, or birds. That is my opinion. Not for everyone and not all people have to tolerate your madness. My disinterest and lack of care towards them is one of the many reasons why it would be idiotic for me to be a father. Those calling BS on the 21+ wedding venue thing are just wrong. It's a stipulation of the venue we chose, nothing more and nothing less. The plain thing happened several years ago. The smoking area fiasco occurred over a year ago. Colleagues bringing their newborns into work is a continued pain and just really gets my goat, just like some people don't like Susan to eat her tuna mayo baguette. It shows a complete and utter lack of etiquette and thought by parents who are coming out in their droves to tell me how wrong I am about their decision. We'll provide updates as and when I get through all the comments. Be kind, people. Update 2. I spoke to a lawyer earlier today who has advised that as we are not married, I won't automatically be added to the birth certificate. My ex-partner can still claim that I'm the biological father, but without my consent to a DNA test is unlikely to be able to prove it unless it is ordered by the court. But as I've been coerced into this, my lawyer thinks the ex-partner and family will back down as I have evidence. The lawyer advised that I don't waive my parental rights yet, as it would indicate that I still believe the fetus could be mine. So I just have to bide my time and leave the country till this all blows over. The lawyer also suggested that I go self-employed, but didn't divulge the specifics. My ex-partner has admitted to coming off birth control and piercing the condoms, which she said she'd done around 3 months ago as she knew I was due a vasectomy early next week and thought I'd changed my mind. She has refused to have an abortion, which is her right, and I've refused any involvement. Has anyone been through this before and managed not to pay out? I think I've got a pretty good case. Update 3. My ex-partner is going to keep the baby. She wants me to be involved in her life and says she doesn't want to lose me over something like this. I have said that I will be having nothing to do with this mistake and that all responsibility now lies with her and her family. She has been blocked from using any form of mobile communication with me, and I have now been sent 3 letters by her to my parents' house. The last letter included a scan of the embryo and a note requesting that I submit a DNA sample. The scan has confirmed that she is 13 to 14 weeks pregnant, which means that she kept this hidden for a good chunk of time. She has said that she will not have an abortion as this is what she always wanted and that she will be taking me to court if I don't offer to help. The more time that goes on, the more she makes this an awful situation, the more I hate her. I refused the DNA test and sent her screenshots of the conversation where she admitted to coming off the pill and piercing condoms in an attempt to get pregnant. She has now gone quiet until this morning. She is pursuing legal action against me, my family, and is looking for a private arrangement of child support. The amount she wants for this bag of cells is triple the recommended amount via the government, and is one of the reasons she is trying to get me to admit that it's my DNA in that embryo so that can get to keep me. I have just lost my job. I have no savings. This is going to ruin me, my life, and the only way out that I can think of is just to run off a cliff and hope for the best. I hate this. Update 4. My ex's parents have now got involved and have lumbered me with a court-ordered DNA test or the option to pay child support and have no involvement. I have dug my heels in and said that everything she has done will constitute involvement from the police, and I am trying to avoid legal battles as I have no money or means to support myself right now, let alone a child I never ever wanted. My parents are now asking me to reconsider my position, and I want to scream every time they bring it up as they're trying to find a positive and have said it might be the best thing to ever happen to me. And it makes me physically sick every time I think about my life being ruined over someone else's deception. I cannot sleep. I cannot focus. I'm so scared. I have now had a vasectomy. User, this is the next one, said, do not block them. Send her a text saying it was really hurtful that she went off the pill and broke the condoms without telling you. When she replies, you have it in writing. Go to the police. Save backups of the text. User Rowana said, see if you can get her to admit what she did in writing or record her. What she did is illegal and she should be held accountable.